Hey there, everybody. Gideon's Tactical here, doing an in-depth review for you of the CRKT STING ankle self-defense knife. So let's go ahead and take a look at it here, give you some quick specs for you. We got a blade length of 3.197 for the total blade length. You have an overall length of 6.85, so a little bit under 7 inches. You have a thickness of 0.137 inches. You have a weight of 3.9 ounces, so it's not too bad for the weight there. Made out of 1050 high carbon steel, and it's made out of what they call hot forged carbon steel, so I don't know what that means. Made, I believe, overseas, I think in Taiwan or China. So those are the specs for you. Let's go ahead and talk about this little guy here. It's a beefy little fixed blade knife. I'm going to tell you the good before I get to the bad. Good part is that it is razor sharp out of the box, full flat grind, dual edged, spear point. So it's very, very sharp when it comes out of the box. This will definitely pierce, because that's what it's designed to do. The POU, philosophy of use, for this knife is self-defense. There's nothing else that this is really good for. You're not going to be wanting to carry this around, cutting boxes open, doing whittling and all that type of stuff, going in the bush and woods and using this as like a little woods knife. It's not what it's designed for. It's designed for law enforcement, military, divers, all that sort of stuff. For self-defense, defending your life if you had to. So very sharp, dual-edged as it comes out of the box. Spear point, very strong tip. I like that. I like how strong the tip is. I'm not worried about it like chipping or breaking or whatever. And overall pretty thick for such a small little blade. Very thick blade, but has the bevels on either side to the full flat grind. So the edge is going to hold up very well. The coating seems to be okay. It's high carbon steel, so this is going to rust, so you got to take care of it, particularly if you're in humid environments. That's why this black coating is on here. But that black coating is going to scuff up. This is going to get beat up pretty quick. And it's, from what I can tell, it's just a piece of steel. The handle is steel, and there's no welds or anything like that. This is just a hunk of steel that they molded and put an edge on, basically. So the handle. And the cutting edge is actually smaller than 3 inches. I believe it's like probably 3, maybe a little less, because there's this definitely like a blank spot there that you could put your finger on right there if you had to do a little bit of cutting. But it's so close to that edge. If you slip, boom, you're slicing your finger open. So it'd be very minimal work that you would do. But there is about a quarter to almost half an inch, actually, I'd say, of plain no edge before the edge actually appears. So that's the edge in the blade itself. The blade for self-defense, I think, is perfect. It's a great size. It's small enough, so it's legal. You just have to be careful if you're in some states that don't allow. Some states don't allow dual edge, so just know your state laws before you purchase this knife, because it is definitely dual edged. Perfect size, strong. You're not going to break this thing, and very, very sharp, so it's going to pierce. So blade-wise, it does exactly what it's supposed to. Onto the handle, which for me is the huge drawback for this knife. If you're using this in a tactical format, which is absolutely what this is designed for, this is not very good handle construction for that. First off, it's very small handle. I wear large size gloves. If my finger is here in this finger choil like it's supposed to be, my pinky is almost like wanting to come off the handle here. I'm either going to have to put my thumb in this indentation right here and hold it basically flat like this, and I'm going to be piercing and slicing sideways. Or if I'm holding it this way, look at this. My middle finger is almost missing it. So it's small in my large glove size hands. The handle itself is very small. Now it's full. And it's a thick handle, and again, it's full Tang because it's just a piece of steel. This whole thing is just one big piece of steel. But it's steel. There's no texture, zero grip, no jimping, no big finger choils or anything. It's just slick steel. And if I'm going to do any sort of a stabbing, penetrating move, my finger is going to be sliding all over the place, and I'm not going to get any good traction on this at all. Zero traction. So that is a huge drawback for the philosophy of use, because it's almost, in my opinion, a no-starter. The blade itself is awesome. Put a different handle on this. This is a great self-defense blade, I think. But the handle is just totally takes away from everything that this could be. What my recommendation is, if you're like, I gotta have it. I gotta have this knife, or you're collecting them, or this is, for whatever reason, this is what you need. My suggestion would be this: at minimum, wrap this thing in, hockey tape, really good textured hockey tape, or like skateboard tape, which would give you still a better traction. And probably the best would actually, and it is nice because the edge doesn't start for a little while, and there's a little bit of this hilt type of thing here, is to wrap this thing completely in paracord, and the hole down here, the giant lanyard hole, you'll be able to weave paracord pretty well around this, and that will definitely help with your traction on this knife. But just the flat steel, and there's no finger choils, no nothing. I mean, here's a perfect example. See, that this is BK14. It has, it doesn't have any jimping, necessarily, and I had to do some milling on it and stuff. But this finger choil helps me. So if I'm stabbing, my hand is not sliding. It's a boom and it stops. There's nowhere it's going, and I'm not going to hurt myself or anything like that if I stab into someone. Now, the blade isn't really good design for self-defense, but this is. So if they put some sort of handle like this on this blade, it would be awesome. Awesome self-defense knife. But because of I'm sorry. I'm having a hard time with that. I really am. So that's the blade. Oh man, you gotta mod that handle if you're gonna buy this knife. Anyway, onto the sheath. The sheath is actually awesome. I'm really impressed with the sheath. Blade and sheath, awesome. Handle, huge drawback. The sheath is made out of nylon, really strong nylon, with a plastic insert, and it clicks in there, no rattle whatsoever, at all. And you just push it out, and the retention is perfect, in my opinion. Let's see if I can do it here. There we go. The retention is not too much, so it's insane, but it's not so little that it is rattling around and wants to fall out. So the sheath does that. Then on the back, it comes with, it's designed to be carried mostly around your ankle. And it has it's really strong nylon with Velcro, plastic loops. You can totally adjust them, all sorts of different ways. And if you don't like this, you can unvelcro, just show you here really quick, this loop, and take this stuff off and Velcro it to different things. Do all sorts of different stuff. Unweave the nylon completely. So if you just wanted to mold it, carry it a different way or whatever, you can totally change it up. But the sheath itself, I think, is very well designed, and I like it a lot. The knife itself. Let's see here if I can set this up here for you. The knife itself, I would never own it. I'm just saying, I would not own this knife for self-defense or any other method, because the handle just totally takes away from it. Everything else, the sheath and blade are awesome. Handle, man, it is very regrettable. So, in my opinion, kind of a thumbs down, guys. If you really need an ankle knife and you're not worried about the handle, cool. Go for this. It's going to treat you really well. But for me and for most other people, I don't think it's going to do very well. So that's the CRKT STING. Awesome thought, poorly executed knife. Thanks for watching. Stay equipped, stay prepared, and I'll see you out there.